I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys! Hey! Welcome back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta AfterShow. I am your host today, Dani B, and I am joined here by my beautiful co-host, Miss Erika Edwards.
What's up, party people?
We are missing Drew and Lynn today, but they are with us in spirit. But this episode was the Secrets Revealed episode, and to me, it just felt like a filler. It was them in quarantine. I'm like, I'm doing the same thing as them. What makes them any different? Like, I'm confused why we're watching this. But what did you think about this episode?
I agree. I think because of Instagram and because of the blogs and whatever, social media, like there was literally nothing in revealed that I thought was a secret, that I was like, maybe there was some little IUD thing with Porsha that was kind of interesting, but like everything else, I was like, okay, this is just like highlights from the season, which is okay, but it wasn't like a revealed secret. So I was literally sort of sleepy, but I stayed through it to the end, but it was boring. I thought it was boring, honestly.
Yeah, it was hard not to go to sleep on this, like watching Nene get lost and then she finds the bus. I'm like, okay, y'all didn't have any other footage to put in this.
I know, I was like, was that a secret? Was that unlocked? Like,
right.
Okay, y'all left her and she wasn't too mad.
Exactly.
Right,
for the title of it, it wasn't enough. It didn't do anything for the title to be Secrets Revealed. But how did you feel about the Porsha and Dennis situation? Porsha tells us that she breaks down after saying that she had a semi-permanent birth control. What is semi-permanent birth control, first of all? Because I was confused. What is semi-permanent birth control?
Well, I know with an IUD, they have to actually insert it in you. So it is sort of like, I don't know if it's a procedure, but they do something, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you know how you get those injections or whatever. So it's similar, it's in you, but then, you know, that's why I guess she couldn't find it. So she needs to have the ultrasound issue. So it's not like pills, like you take them every day. It's like, it's a little bit more permanent than pills because it's within you. However. I think that's what she meant by semi-permanent, actually.
Yeah. How did you feel about that situation? I mean, we saw her break down and all of that, and Dennis seemed to be supportive, but how did you feel?
Well, I thought it was two different issues. Like one, I was like, okay, you know, it was interesting sort of that Dennis is like pushing so hard for a second baby and they haven't really planned the wedding yet and blah, blah, blah. So that was interesting. And we hadn't really seen or heard that in the season. So that was kind of like not a shock, but it was surprise, you know, it was new. And I think it was really interesting though to hear her talk about her issue with fibroids and how this might have, you know, affect future pregnancies. So that kind of seemed like a real moment right there. And I know fibroids, especially, you know, for African-American women is a really big issue. I know I have several friends who have fibroids and sometimes you get them removed and they come back anyway. So I think it was interesting. And it might have been something that she could have talked about more during the season. Because kind of like infertility, it is a big issue for Black women. So.
Right. I would have liked to see her talk more about it on the show because it would have kind of helped with her, like when she had the event for women not being able to get pregnant or just like Black women, you know, and pregnancy issues. I feel like it would have gone with that storyline more.
Exactly. And it would have been something more than just a whole season about her and Dennis, because I think it is genuinely a real issue. And especially if it's something that has come back and now she might have surgery and it would, you know, impact her giving birth again. Like it would have been something kind of interesting outside of just the Dennis and therapy situation, honestly.
Right. But I'm going to need her to get married before she decides to even continue the conversation about a second baby. Because I feel like after having the first baby and you see all of the foolishness that went on, even while you were pregnant, like you need to calm down until you are married. Do you agree?
Yeah, like, cause I'm kind of like, dude, he's still going to breakfast with other women and all this other stuff. Do you all know? Did you all settle like after the quarantine? Where's he gonna be living? Like, I feel like you all have way more, bigger issues than another baby. And then I don't know, Pilar, PJ, is she one yet? Like, come on, it's not
Right. But one thing that did want to talk about was when Porsha said that she didn't really have full like evidence of the Dennis situation, like him cheating, but she saw text messages. Not saying the text messages aren't enough because it can really give away most of the story. But like during the season, you would have thought that she knew like hardcore or like, do you know what I'm saying? Like she really, really knew what happened fully.
Well, it kind of depends, I think, on what was in the text message. Because I think from what I recall when she first was like, okay, he was cheating, I thought it was something she read in the phone. So, you could easily be like, yeah, baby, you were the best sex I ever had last night.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? He definitely probably wrote something crazy, or maybe he sent a picture, but I assume it was something that he wrote that admitted what he had done. I would assume. So, you know what I'm saying? So to me, that's the only thing that would be, otherwise it's just some random flirting, kind of like I think Marc and some of his exes or something. Like it's a lot of stuff you could say, but okay, if she read it and she knew concretely, then I feel like he must have said something in a text that was like, okay, clearly I did this.
Yeah. And I was just like, why isn't she telling her mom or her sister or her best friend what happened? Because they're like, what happened? Because like throughout the whole season, no one has been able to find out what happened. Like what happened? I want to know. Everybody else's business is out there. Maybe she just doesn't want her business to be out there, which is like understandable. But what happened?
I know. I mean, I think it's kind of tough with Dennis because there's so much like already in the fire. So there's all these other rumors, all these other people and animals, and just all this nonsense is out in the streets. And so it's like, okay, maybe she don't want to verify the exact. Maybe that would lead to a bigger can of worms, I would assume. You know what I'm saying? If she really gave the real facts, because there's so much craziness out there on him anyway. It's like everybody's like, oh, I slept with him, I slept with him, so I don't know. It's that's a tough one. I agree with you. It's like at this point, why, there's so much out there. On the other hand, why hide it? Like, why is it such a big secret now? So
exactly. Well, Dennis is a trip, but we did uncover a little bit of information about Snakegate. I don't know really how shocking it was because we never got any evidence throughout the season, but Yovanna admits in this episode that she made up when she said that she had audio or proof of a conversation with Cynthia talking about Nene. She said that she was lying because she was mad about Cynthia snapping at her during the Daily Q. How did you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, Snakegate was like so long ago. We haven't seen her since, really. It's like, is she going to be at the reunion? Is it even relevant? Do we care? So it was interesting. I think we kind of knew that either she had lied or she had kind of stretched the truth. Maybe there's no tape, but Cynthia still said it. So I don't know. But yeah, it just seemed like, okay, too bad for her because she was looking for more screen time. So.
Right. I was like, Yovanna, why did you show up to this just to get made a fool of? Like you showed up to this big meeting with all of the girls, knowing that they were going to be mad about you lying, just for you to feel like you were ganged up on. What did you expect? Like, I don't know what you expected. You thought they were going to be like, oh, it's okay, you lied. Like, what? I'm confused. She showed up for what? And she shows up with Nene. And then Nene is like telling this. So it makes it awkward. It's like, how do you even ride back in the car with Nene after that? And she's having to tell the truth about you lying.
I know. Nene's like, well, as long as she apologized to me, that's all that matters. It's like, okay, why are we even talking about this then? It's like, you almost feel bad for her because it's like she wanted to be in with them so bad and she messed up so crazy. It's like, girl, you're not even a friend of the show no more. So now what?
Exactly. I just think that she came in very, very strong, even from when she was like, I'm that bitch, Yovanna.
Right,
She just
exactly.
came in.
He always came into me like either drunk or phony because it's like, okay, you're overacting now. You know, just be a normal person. We know you've been watching this show all these years. Just relax a little bit. And she still never quite was comfortable enough with anybody. And then
Right.
is going to start lying. So it's like, okay, girl, no, you're not a fit.
It was too much. But I'm trying to think about what even happened in the rest of this episode because it was just like quarantine and just chilling. But we did see a conversation between Kenya and the cookie lady, which was just too much to me. And the whole time I was watching Kenya have this conversation with the cookie lady, it was the day after she brought the cookie lady to lunch to meet with Tanya, pretty much ambushing Tanya.
Right.
Um, it was just like, and then Marc sitting in the background, I'm like, this is why Marc does not like Kenya like that. That's how I felt watching it. Because it's just messy, messy, messy. And Marc doesn't seem to be someone that likes drama. He always says that he doesn't like drama. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. He doesn't like drama, and he was like the typical, I guess, man who's just gonna like walk off at the mall or whatever. It was interesting her whole little discussion because it's like, why are you now so cool with the cookie lady, or why are you, you trying to make things kind of right or cool with her when she's like not really part of your network or your group. So that was interesting, kind of, but it was like still kind of very filler like. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. One thing I can say is consistently, although Marc is a cutie pie, he's like a jerk every single clip. It's like, can you ever just chill out and act nice or pretend to be nice or act like you care? I don't know. Because
Right. Like
even then, even when he's joking, he's like, yeah, I already left her. Like he never is acting, he's never nice. Like, or he certainly
yeah.
wasn't nice this time.
Right. Or even saying, I bought my own cake. And I'm like, what is happening right now? What is happening? And Kenya's like, we celebrated your birthday together ever since we've been together. Like, do you not remember being with her for your birthday? I'm confused. It was just too
Yes.
much. Marc is like, doesn't know how to play around in a like playing around way. It's like he's shady and
He's
like
like one of
rude.
those person that is like making jokes and it's always at your expense and it's always negative. And after a while, you're like, is this person really making a joke or is this what they really think? That's the type of brother he
Right.
is. Wait a second, before we go, I want to shout out to the people in the chat. So, oh my gosh, there's 22 people, and I didn't really think it was that great of an episode. But thank you guys. So shout out to CC Freak and Jean Welsom and Yolanda Stubbs and let's see, CC Freak says, I feel like once Nene got back cool with the crew, she tossed Yovanna to the side. I don't know if she ever had Yovanna. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What about the time she almost ran over at Marlo's thing? So it's like, no, she was not there for Yovanna at all.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Then Jean Wilson says, isn't it interesting that Yovanna hasn't been on the show since she was accused? Exactly. Like, I don't even know if she's gonna I don't even know if they're gonna zoom her in for the reunion. It's like she's not even a friend to the show after this debacle, which is, interesting.
Right. Well, I think that was pretty much the bulk of what happened this episode. It was really just, it wasn't a good episode. I think Bravo could have kept this. It wasn't enough secrets revealed. It wasn't anything to really tune into. I'm sorry, but it really wasn't anything to tune into.
Now, one thing that they did bring up that it was kind of boring when they showed it, so I can see why it didn't make the show, was when Eva tried to get Tanya and Kenya back together, like at whatever her little photo shoot was. And that was still kind of Kenya halfway apologized. I've never used the C word. I've never heard the C word. Like that's too was kind of boring because it was, Tanya didn't accept the apology anyway. And so it was interesting. And I think the only other thing that they kind of touched on a little bit was this whole Eva and Cynthia relationship that seems to be somehow, manufactured, but it's starting to become real. It's like you pretend you like somebody and then you start liking them. I don't know. But so it was interesting because I guess in this quarantine, now we gonna really call each other. It's like for real. So I guess now they actually really are friends. But that was interesting that they kind of tried to show little strands of that in there. Because I was like, I never was, it just seems sort of they're like, oh, we're on the show together. We need to tape. Let's pretend to be friends. That's kind of how the vibe did that. So it was interesting to see some of that. And we saw a little bit of, although not very interesting, behind the scenes with Marlo. When Porsha and Nene were over at her house or whatever, kind of talking. That was kind of cute, I guess. I don't know.
I was just like, okay, this is like a conversation that I see why it didn't make the episode.
Right, exactly. I felt like I was watching instead of secrets, this felt like outtakes. Like, let me know what y'all think. Like, let me know what y'all think. I felt like this was a whole hour of, okay, these are all the things that did not make the episode because they weren't interesting. So
that's exactly what
the producers were like, we're not gonna put this in because it's boring, and we'll save it for another day when we're running out of stuff.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. And then Jean says Yovanna is way too thirsty. Oh, and that's the truth. She was never comfortable. She never played it cool. She was always like basically begging for friendships. I mean, really, when Nene left Marlo's thing and Yovanna was out there begging on the window, don't go. And Nene was like, I'm gonna run you over. Don't move. It was like, oh my gosh. So she was, that's thirst at the most.
It was. She was allowing herself to be embarrassed time and time and time again. Girl, after they caught you walking out of the hotel with your bag like that and put you on camera, you should have just never came back. I would have never shown my face again. There's no way. I agree. One thing that I did see online is that Nene, I guess she presses end on the Zoom call for the reunion after getting into it with so many people. I'm excited with Eva, Kenya, and maybe it was Candy. I'm excited to see her get into it with all of those people because, honey, she pressed end on the Zoom call.
Yeah, and Candy was saying some stuff too online about how people ended up leaving and how dramatic it was and da-da-da-da-da. So so I'm curious too, because you know how it is. It'll be fun because somebody will get mad and then they'll end it and then they'll call back in. They'll be like, oh, the call dropped or whatever. It'll be funny. Right. I think it'll be good. I would prefer it in person, obviously, but I think it'll still be hot. Hopefully, it's got to be better than this mess they just showed us. Because tonight was like the wackest of ever.
And Andy Cohen said that even though it was on Zoom, it was crazy. So we're looking forward to that. We will definitely be covering that next week. And we'll have Lynn in here, the fabulous Lynn, to spill all the tea. And we will all be in here, reviewing the reunion. But
yes, we will, for sure. And then one of the persons, CC Freak, she says she hates that Potomac got pushed back to the summer, as do we. Oh my God, I was crushed on that.
I was ready for Potomac, especially after seeing the preview. I'm like, Fanny, this trailer is lit. I'm ready for Potomac. Indeed. Yes, but that is it for this show. I'm your host, The Dani B. You guys can follow me on Instagram at The Dani B. Erika, where can they find you?
All right, you guys, you can follow me on all of my social media at Erika, ERIKA, as in Dora Edwards. And I'm also on the after show for Killing Eve, if you like that. So check me out Mondays here tomorrow I think we're taping tomorrow at 4. So that is it.
Check her out, guys. All right, thank you guys for tuning in so much. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
All right, ciao for now, folks.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.